Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Wolf, and I'm a little sick. Between AuirNeedsMe and I want to call it Russkiy, like from Cinderella, how the mice would call Lucifer the cat Russkiy. So I'm just going to call him Russkiy, the Zerg. Blistering sands. I'm going to cough and shit throughout this game, so deal with it. I'm just giving this to Air because he asked for help on this game. I'm going to give suggestions, and I'm going to speed it up, so this is mostly for his benefit. If you want to watch, cool. Not cool. I'm just letting you know that I've been sick, so that's why I haven't casted anything. So I had some thoughts watching this, and you'll have to have someone else explain this exactly to you, Ire. But spoilers. Russkiy is going to fast expand like most Zergs do at like 15 supply. I think it's gas into hatchery. It's a pool after hatchery though for sure. And first thing Ire does is put down a forge for a forge fast expand. Now, I mean on some maps this makes sense. You know, small choke point, very wise. I have to say though that I'm not a big fan of. He does go pool first. Okay, whatever. So he does go pool first, which kind of changes it up a little bit. But I don't share the idea of... I don't like Forge Fast Expand against any race anymore. They did okay against Zerg. The idea was pretty solid before. Nowadays, of course, it doesn't work against Terran at all because other units are range. It doesn't work very well against Protoss. Stalkers are really good at just, hit and running back, especially with shields going on. And, oh, what was the last thing? Against Zerg, yeah, the last race. Like I said, I'm a little sick. It'll be a little weird. Against Zerg, roaches are very good against them nowadays. So it's just, most Zerg will go roaches. Usually, when I see an expand, I just throw my own expand down. I cancel what I was kind of doing and go for an expansion. Timing pushes are really good against expands like this, but I like to macro game too. Those are my two favorite things: timing pushes and macro games. Sometimes I'll do that. But if I didn't already have a plan in mind, like going for a Stargate attack or something, then it is times 2 speed, just by the way. If I don't have a game plan for like not a forge, like a +1 armor attack or a void ray attack, then odds are the timing attack won't be as good if I try to come up with it later. And so usually if I see an expand go down, I just immediately put my own expand down. Now Zerglings are really good against expands. I'm going to slow it down because I might talk about a few stuff here, a few things. Zerglings are really good against expands, of course. They're like the ideal Zerg unit, which is, it's kind of weird to say, but each tier 1 unit actually is very ideal for its race. And the reason I say that for Zerglings is because they're very good for protecting an early expansion, and they're very good at denying early expansion. So that's the only thing about expanding that you need to be careful about. If I see an expand, I'll expand, but I have to be careful that if I see Zerglings coming, I need to be ready to cancel the expansion or get Zealots out there to defend it, or, wall off similar style. Personally, on this map, a big fan of, like, 2-gating. This is actually my favorite thing to do on this map, is a 2-gate attack into an expansion, so I deny theirs and then expand myself. But it's also very wise to just block here with a gateway and a cybernetics and kind of go stalker heavy for the first part of the game to defend that wall off, and of course this one, and then later just move out through here. Instead of wasting time on forge and cannons, this expand could be up a lot faster. Excuse me, if we look at the income tab, we can see that red just skyrocketed above because, Protoss got that chrono going on. But he's still behind at this point in the game. I sound like a very sexy man now. Yeah, but there's just a few things that seem... I think there's a... I'm just going to go ahead and click this because it makes me happy. There's a few things that are wrong with Ire in terms of, like, basics, which I am Platinum. It's not like I'm trying to tell him how to do everything, but it's easier to look back on a replay and see the little things when someone else is talking about it, especially. Speed it back up. Big things are simple... Oh, it's not... Scouting is really important. I was going to call it simple scouting. I'm going to switch the order, though. You want to make sure scout... I mean, this could have easily died to a 4-gate. It wouldn't have been anything. And now it's getting protected from a 4-gate, so you can't really do it anymore. He probably saw your expand and knew what was going on. He's getting his own Spire, though, which against Protoss can be really dumb if you see it. But, of course, if you don't see it, then you can be in a lot of danger. Mutalisks are actually his baneling, bane of his existence. So he Air hates Mutalisks. Oh man, it sucks to be sick. I feel fine, just my voice makes me sound like I've gone through puberty again, and I'm a little congested and I got a cough, but I feel great. So this is really bad. It's going to a robotics facility. When you see when you know Mutalisks are coming, he doesn't. So getting the observer is not a bad idea, but of course getting robotics against Mutalisks is going to be very dangerous. The other thing I was going to talk about though was like macro ideals. And I was talking earlier about how if I see their expand, I just expand, like whatever, just expand. And right now, I'd be in my mindset to expand again. I mean, I don't know what he's doing, but odds are he's expanded himself. And just make sure you keep the vision going on. You definitely want to see what's going on. Very bad here to use the zealots to defend this. It's going to get killed, and that's really bad. You want to use probes to grab the watchtowers like here. Yeah, but at this time I would have expanded again myself. I just love... At most points in the game, you'll kind of see a build of minerals. I like to take that build up and just turn it to an expansion and then keep expanding, expanding, expanding. I kind of like to go really zealot heavy, so I really use my minerals well. I just need to get more gases in the future. And so your observer's been seen, which means it's really, you can't do this, you can't bring it into the base and assume it's going to make it. Of course there's a queen unit that's going to be there. They have good air attack, 9, and they attack really fast, so it's not going to, it's probably going to be, you know, 6 hits or whatever it is, 7. So, that observer is totally going to go down nice and quick, which is bad. And you can get information off of it, but I have to say the best route for scouting a Zerg player, I would suggest, if you see they're going Hydralisk and you want to get robotics and observer anyway, getting observers for detection is wise. But if you see a fast expansion, getting hallucination for it isn't a bad idea either. Plus, hallucination is kind of the friendly 4-gateway to do scouting. You know, it's free scouts. Who doesn't like that? Obviously, Zerg don't because they have it, but so right now he's going Mutiling. People don't really like going Phoenix against Mutiling after it's been executed. I mean, if you start off the game going Zealot Phoenix, then you'll do fine against Mutiling. Easy. I hate this part. This is so dumb. Hold on, please. Please, I guess? Question mark. Okay. No, you don't hold on. I mean, I kind of get if someone's at the door, just... Later in the game, it makes you want to say no. Just attack. Who gives a shit if he says hold on, please? If he didn't pause the game, just go. Besides, he saw that with his overlord. He's getting his army in position. That's a load of shit there. So, I mean, it's nice to be nice. But if he doesn't actually pause the game, then just go kill him. Who cares if there's somebody... Hold on for a second. Just say no. Sit there and do it. Or actually, don't say no. Make him stand up and take your win. Who cares? And so we have our first engagement here. Good force fields going down, you know, making the Zerglings get kind of routed in smaller groups. Just fine, completely slaughtering them with the Zealots. Big problem here, though, was the miscount. That was all there was to that, is a miscount. Scout. I'm saying scout, not scout. The Mutalisks, there's just so many of them. If there had been a higher stalker ratio there. And this is a big thing, is when I see Mutalisks, I will cancel my Robotics Bay and my Colossus. I can't say getting Colossus at this time is a good idea at all. Realistically, just going Gateway units with Guardian Shield and then Phoenix to support them would be really good. I mean, you can't beat a Zerg player by making more Phoenix than him, but Phoenix... Protoss Tier 2 units are counter units. Each one of them is just good at countering another unit. That's how they work. Phoenix are the only unit in the Protoss army that has a bonus versus light. That's pretty much like Corruptors to Colossus. We have them so that we can fight Mutalisk, otherwise we'd have a lot of trouble. The other thing is, I don't expect you to make a tech switch against this, but you have to get Blink. You gotta get Blink, buddy. I mean, Blink is just so good. It makes your Stalkers really good, and it will actually, you can fight Mutalisks with them, especially if you control your Stalkers well. And so you keep getting Colossus, and I kind of see this going on. It makes sense. You're making the Stalkers to deal with the Mutalisks, and you have the Colossus to deal with the Zerglings, ideally. But then again, you know that, what are they called? Zealots are way cheaper, and they can deal with Zerglings pretty well as well, especially because you got the upgrades going on here. And, so you could get Charge, you could get Blink, you could get +2 weapons to keep going up your weapon paths if you went Charge lots and Blink. And then you could get some Phoenix to support them after you're done upgrading some things. Instead of doing this, which is extremely dangerous against the +2. Yeah, that's really scary to see a +2 attack going on there. So we have another engagement here. Now we're going to see some falling back here. The Zerg player sees his armies kind of getting caught out of position, and if he had attacked right there, he would have lost. Now this is your biggest mistake here. What is this? It's creep. You really, Zergs want to macro up happily. Falling back and just keeping them contained is very wise. Now right here, really bad. Getting off the creep was wise, but realistically the Zerglings just kept getting free shots at you, and now they're getting, they're destroying all your poor stalkers. So bad focus fire by your stalkers. Blink could have really helped with that, and so could have charge. And so, it just kind of depends on what you see, but the this is kind of like damnation right here. Going robotics back against mutiling is probably going to get you killed. The other thing is the Zerg player has just contained you realistically. He's containing you by harassment. He's up and expand. At this time of the game, you should have expanded yourself. I know you did try down here. Personally, I like going for the gold first. It's kind of safer against known Terrans because they got siege tanks to go boom. Boom. Damn. What was I thinking? Yeah, it's just... I have to say, I think it's a couple of the more basic things, sorry to say. A miss-scout, and then the idea of... Yeah, the miss-scout and going robotics is really deadly. And then you're not scouting another base, too. And then you're not getting another expansion, which I'm not saying it's easy to get expansion. You're definitely doing the best you can. It's not like you're just giving up. But, that's a really big thing. You got to make sure the Zerg doesn't out-macro you on bases. If you can stay equal bases to a Zerg, then you'll do just fine. We got an engagement here. Really bad positioning. Again, the Zerglings are able to get a pretty happy surround, and the Colossus aren't able to do what they want to do. Once again, Blink is what you really wanted here. When you're doing a tech switch, if you're attacking with the same army twice, like Stalkers with Colossus, you're not going to do very well. You need to wait and let yourself make that tech switch, like Blink. If you had waited to get Blink and just kept making Stalkers, of course he would have had way more Mutalisks. His base would have been more happy, all that. He could have harassed you. But your army's efficiency would have been enough to probably crush this. There are a lot of Mutalisks here. They have +2 weapons. They're extremely deadly. They're going to destroy everything in here. There's not really much you can do about it at this point. You can't let Mutalisks get out of control. You need the Guardian Shield too. That's a big one there. If you had gone less Colossus, you could have got more sentries, more upgrades to make your 4-gate units stronger. And of course, High Templar are really good. So I have to say I don't agree with going robotics facility against Zerg at all, unless they're going Hydralisks. Mortals are okay against roaches. Of course you want observers for detection. All these units are fine, except for War Prisms. They're not good at all. All these units are fine. It's just you can get what you want from the other buildings easier. You know, if you control your units, which trust me, I've seen you control your units. They're really good at it, especially when you get that blank and force field going on. It's like, oh, come. I mean, your game is #1 on my. It's the one that I show off for a reason. This would actually be ruined, by the way. The one with the sick force field control. The one that I like jizzed in my pants about. I'm gonna speed up a little bit. Not much is going on here. So now you got the. Wait, slow down. Too fast. You got Blink. Great. I don't think this army is good enough to deal with it, but you can see with good Blink usage, if you use Blink well, then you'll be much better off. Ooh, yes. I mean, Blink makes the Stalker, which is kind of like a lull, into a very deadly unit, especially against Zerg. So we do have. This is a wise time to make an engagement. Unfortunately, your units are caught out of position. If you could have got them on the high ground, that would have actually really made the difference here. Now you can see your Zealots are dealing with Zerglings just fine. You don't need the Colossus for that. It's all that you just don't have enough Stalkers is the only problem. And you are able to kind of route him away with these, what are they called, Zealots. You definitely want to keep the Mutalisk off of your Stalkers. You need to make more Stalkers. And the big thing is, I see that you did do it. Against Mutalisk, you always want to go armor first. If you're doing Mutiling, you definitely want to get armor because, Zerglings attack fast and not very strong, so armor really helps against them. Mutalisks attack 3 attacks, so I think it does 9 damage, 3 damage, 3 damage. So if you get armor, you're able to negate 3 points of damage instead of just 1 point of damage. from like, you know, a roach or whatever. Just not enough units here. I mean, you're not doing bad at all. Believe it or not, I think that last engagement you could have won with Guardian Shield and just a little bit more Stalkers. So I don't think there's a lot. You definitely did better than you give yourself credit for. You made a lot of mistakes in this game, but it's not like you. Excuse me. It's not like you lost because you didn't know what you're doing. Jesus Christ. I'm probably just gonna stop talking for the rest of the game. See why I don't cast games when I'm sick? It makes me die on the inside. I sacrificed myself just so Air could be happy for the rest of his life. I mean, this is deadly. The only way is you got to chip away at this ball of Mutalisks. If you let it get too big, especially with upgrades going on, you probably will die. Blink Stalkers are good for that, of course, because they can hit and blink back. Guardian Shield is really helpful for that because it gives you +2 armor against all their attacks. That's really nice. And the other really good one was Phoenix. I mean, don't discredit it too much, guys. It's you can't keep up with their numbers in terms of Phoenix. If you try to make enough Phoenix to beat Mutiling, you'll die. But if you have Phoenix support your sentries and your Stalkers and your Void Race, you'll do just not Void Race, Zealots. Your 4-gate units, then you'll be just fine. There's not really much going on. I'm just going to go ahead and speed it up to ×8 because I'm tired of casting this game. I hope I can help you out a little bit, Air, though. I hope I can help you out. You gotta fix your problem. I'm too weak. I'm too weak. I don't agree with your problems with against Zerg. That's because I have problems against Terran. That's just a race thing. Don't sweat it, buddy. I mean, all players have one race they suck against, and 2 races they're great against, or, you know, at least better than the 3rd race. I just fine against Zerg. The only times they ever get me is when they like resupply an entire army and I don't control my units well enough. That drives me bonkers. And against Terran, I just get destroyed all the time. He's receiving. GG. Should have attacked when he was getting the door. Oh man, that's gay, dude. Fuck off. Has left the game. Yeah, Russkiy is pretty gay. He's like, blah, blah, blah. Oh guys, thanks for watching if you did. I didn't expect you to, but Air, I hope I can help you out. Just don't sweat it, buddy. I mean, like I was saying, I do fine against Zerg and Protoss, I feel, but against Terran I freak out because of Marines, so it's just one race. You just gotta slowly, you gotta believe you can do it, man. I'm getting sick, so I'm just gonna go ahead and turn it off so I stop, like, sitting here freaking you out, but I'm just gonna say you can do it, man. You gotta believe in yourself.